What's going on, YouTube, social media world, every social media platform out there? YouTube spearheading the movement, though. Here we are, man. This is a video I'm gonna do regarding um it's like a reach out type of thing. I'm reaching out uh to the young people, man. Uh each day that passes by, I feel like I gotta reach out to the young people even more. It's one day closer for me to reach out to them. Um, I've worked with young people for a very long time, man. Approaching 30 years, about 27 years. Not exclusively though, but consciously, I've been working with young people for that period of time. In New York City primarily, uh, but this is a Brooklyn edition. This is a piece that I'm gonna do about Brooklyn. Um, I have some history in Brooklyn. Doesn't matter. It's not about me. But what what the stuff about Brooklyn. Brooklyn is so lively. It's so lively where it's hard to explain. What I'm trying to say is you can feel the energy in the air. You feel it in the air. Brooklyn love, Brooklyn pain, and everything in between. You feel it in the air, man. I've been to many different places, but there's something about Brooklyn that's just it. My temperature rises when I'm out there, man. And it's not because I don't. It's just the environment. It's just how it is. Your Brooklyn state of mind. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like as far as my temperature rising, it's just like it's so real. It's so raw. I mean, it's so everything is heightened. Like I said, you have two spectrums: love and pain, hot and cold, positive and negative. You find these spectrums everywhere in life, but Brooklyn, New York, whew, oh man, when ever since I've had experiences from being a child to an adult all through my life in Brooklyn, living in Brooklyn, working in Brooklyn, just everything you could think of in BK. My goodness, man, transformations, like so many changes. Um, when the youth get killed, when the youth get killed, it shakes my whole system, man. Like it really does. It puts me in a bad space, man. You know, Brooklyn. Why, man? Like this is about the the desperation, the desperation that's almost embraced in Brooklyn. It just bothers me, man. It's like It's a certain level of reality that's almost accepted for what it is. And it doesn't, I don't feel like it has to be like that, but this has been happening before I was born. I'm reaching out to the youth. You don't have to kill each other, man. You don't have to kill each other, man. You know, you're the future. The youth are the future, man. There's so much pizzazz. There's so much finesse. There's so much class. There's so much of everything you find in BK. Talent, expertise. But then you find crime that's highlighted among the young people. I didn't want, many years ago, a, a, a Brooklyn native once told me, you know, he said, man, it's hard to even breathe out here. And I'm the type of person, I like to really approach things from a sort of like a wider perspective instead of narrow, try to have an open view on things. And I didn't want to accept him saying that. Like, what do you mean it's hard to even breathe out here? My G's, my dudes, my people, my folks, my people who are listening, sometimes it's literally hard to breathe out there. Like I understood what he meant. This was many years ago he told me this, and it resonates in my head because I just recently heard that a young man, you know, he got killed, knocked off by his adversaries or his opposition, street stuff, gang stuff. Just, these kids have talent, man. These kids are so talented, whether it's utilizing their creative capabilities, their skill set, building their skill set. Some of them, you know, they're so talented, they're self-taught. But the environment breeds contempt sometimes, man. Shit is so real, it's not even funny, because sometimes they come from environments where they don't have anyone to look up to. Because the ones that are there who are seemingly supposed to be their elders to look up to are not good examples in of their own right. Right? Their hands are dirty, literally. So who are they to chastise the youth? This is not about chastising the youth. This is about taking a train ride and getting off a train stop in BK, and automatically you're elevated. Your energy is on 10 subconsciously. It's just like that. And it's not because you're on alert like there's crime every day. No, like I said, you find everything. You find love and pain. But you know it can go down at any given moment, any split second. I mean, you have cookouts on a regular, especially in certain spots in Brooklyn. You know, it's heavily, there are pockets of, you know, ethnic communities in Brooklyn. So you find a little bit of everything, almost like Queens, but we talking about BK right now. It's rich in culture, different, you know, a myriad of different cultures. But it goes down. It goes down. I remember, I'm gonna share a quick story now. I was hanging out in Crown Heights years ago, long time ago, with me and my cousin, and we were talking, and a couple of his friends walked over, and they were talking about going to a party, and my cousin, and the party actually was in Brownsville, and my cousin was like, "Yo." He was gonna say something. Before he could say something, his friend said, "Nah, don't worry about it, man. Listen, my people's so and so is gonna bring one type of firearm, the other person is gonna bring another type of firearm, and the third person is gonna bring another type of firearm. So we're gonna be ready. We're gonna be straight. We don't have to worry about anything, right?" And I was saying to myself, watching all of this, I'm like, what is this? We're going to war? I wasn't even living, like, it's just me and my cousin, we just talking. And these guys, we young, everyone wants to party, have a good time, socialize. So it was a weekend night, and it was something to do, but it was an opportunity to go to a party. But before going to the party, understand that people had to show up right to go to a party to a neighborhood that was about driving 15 minutes away. So you in the same borough. Brooklyn is a borough, one out of the 5 boroughs in New York City. Brooklyn. We're in one community in Brooklyn, traveling to another community, but you gotta be strapped up to get to the other community. And to me, and then I'm at this point, I was in my 20s, wasn't even a teenager, like 20s at this point, listening to this, and I'm like, wow, this is. And those guys were with it. I didn't go. I know that much. I didn't go. I wasn't going to go to a party, walking into a party knowing that people, are packing, and then, it's like you walking into a situation, you don't know what's going to go on. If you got to go to a party and have all this shit going on, that's not a party. How you figure you're going to have a good time? And that was the reality. There was just a regular day, a normal situation for a person, and I wasn't even heavy in the streets. I always took care of my business, but I was not different than anybody else because I never felt superior than anyone else. But this was the reality. One day you see somebody, talk to them and everything, the next day they out of here. Just like that. And kids to this day are still living this reality. It's the extension of wickedness. For what reason? Who knows, man? You have these factions in Brooklyn right now among the kids that, these differences in these gangs, and it's like, man, it's about self-preservation. It's about not only self-preservation, but also appreciating life. Kids are getting wiped out before they touch the age of 22. For nothing. For territory that they don't own. For reputation, for intangibles like ego, reputation, feelings. You can't touch these things. They come and go. They don't fight anymore. They do fight, but it gets real gritty. Most of the times it's a lot of gunplay. Just gunplay. Random. Different parts of Brooklyn. Talking about places like Flatbush, Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, Fort Greene, Red Hook, Canarsie, East New York, Brownsville, the list goes on. Coney Island, Sunset Park, Bushwick, Williamsburg. The list goes on, man. These are different neighborhoods and centers and different cultural areas in BK where it's active, beautiful, but it's also so painful sometimes, man. It's beautiful, man. You come outside, you see the drums, like these metal grills, the drums, and the people are just cooking grills right outside on the street. You smelling the scent of the food they're heating up on the grills, man. They're playing their tunes, man. Playing the tunes from the islands, man. Oh man, it's this sweet vibe, bro. But then that just gets mixed up with the heavy, egotistical, negative action of the youth, man. That brings bloodshed. You're having homemade meals of any shape, size, fashion being done and delivered and made right there on the spot, and you mixing that up with the fresh air of the best type, the most refined types of herb you can chief and smoke. You smell it in the air, but they mix all of that up with the gunplay. RIP murals all over the place. And this is just Brooklyn. We're not talking about Queens yet. We're not talking about the boogie down Bronx. We're not talking about money making Manhattan. Shout out to Staten Island, but we're not talking about those areas. We're talking about Brooklyn, and it's just hurtful. It's hurtful. As a child, the same shots that I used to hear, still the same shots that are occurring today. It doesn't even matter about the gentrification that's taking place in Brooklyn. It doesn't even matter about the gentrification. It's still on and popping. It's still on and cracking. And it's sad. And I often reach out to the youth because the youth represent change, represent a viable change that can take place to help propel us to the future, to help propel us and add some type of great value to the future as youth, to the young people that are listening to this, not the old fogies, not anybody 35 and up. I'm talking about 35 and under. You bring value to the table. Your life is of value. You have a mission and you have a purpose. You have a mission and you have a purpose. You have a talent. You have a gift. You have a skill. Whatever it is that you have something to offer. Nourish that. Build on that. Practice makes perfect. Don't allow temporary interferences like our ego cloud your judgment to the point where you want to not only lose your freedom but take someone else's life over what? Over what, man? Like, really? Over what, man? There's Brooklyn everywhere. Everywhere you find Brooklyn. Everywhere. So please, use that edge. Use that edge to help you sift through the madness and pick up the jewels that you need to help live a fruitful, healthy, long-lasting life. You know, getting old is a blessing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, becoming old is a blessing. It's a blessing. A young man got slain, gunned down. And people are worried about who won the battle, Ludacris or Nelly.